Section 1, Platform 4, 6:15 a.m. Eli boarded the train, same time, same car, same seat, 6:15 a.m. Platform 4. His life was a symphony of routine. Wake up, coffee, train, work, repeat. The world outside his window was a blur of grey, much like his life. He barely noticed the other passengers anymore. They were just shadows, ghosts passing through his day. He opened his book, but the words swam before his eyes. He wasn't really reading. He was just going through the motions, just like always. Another day, another page turned in the monotonous novel of his life. He sighed, a quiet exhale of resignation. He was adrift, unmoored, and utterly alone. The rain started suddenly, a heavy downpour that hammered against the train windows. The rhythmic drumming was almost hypnotic. Eli watched as the water cascaded down the glass, blurring the lights of the city into hazy streaks of color. He felt a familiar ache in his chest, a longing for something more, something real, something true. The train screeched to a halt. Platform 4, his stop. He stood up, a ghost among ghosts, ready to disembark into another unremarkable day. But then he saw her. She was standing near the door, a splash of color in the sea of grey suits and tired faces. Her bright yellow raincoat was like a ray of sunshine piercing through the gloom. Her hair was pulled back in a loose braid, and raindrops clung to the ends like tiny diamonds. She was smiling, a genuine smile that lit up her entire face. Eli couldn't help but stare. She was like nothing he'd ever seen before. She radiated warmth and life, a stark contrast to the cold, sterile environment of the train. For a moment, their eyes met. Her smile widened, and she offered him a small nod. Eli felt his heart skip a beat. He wanted to say something, anything to break the ice, but the words caught in his throat. He was frozen, paralyzed by a mixture of shyness and a strange, unfamiliar hope. The train doors hissed open, jolting him out of his trance. He hesitated, torn between the familiar comfort of his routine and the allure of the unknown. Just then, the woman in the yellow raincoat turned to him. "It's a beautiful day for a walk, don't you think?" she said, her voice like the tinkling of wind chimes. And with that, she stepped out into the rain, leaving Eli standing there, speechless and utterly captivated. He watched her go, his heart pounding in his chest. For the first time in a long time, he felt truly alive. Eli's routine was forever altered, his thoughts consumed by the woman in the yellow raincoat. Days turned into weeks, and the memory of her smile lingered in his mind like a cherished melody. Every morning he found himself scanning the train, hoping for another glimpse of her, but she never appeared, and the longing grew stronger with each passing day. One crisp morning, as the train pulled into his usual station, Eli spotted a splash of yellow in the crowd. His heart raced. Could it be her? He stepped off the train, his eyes fixed on the spot where he had seen the color. There she was, Mara, standing by a small cafe, her raincoat as bright as the first time he saw her. Gathering every ounce of courage, Eli approached her. "Hi," he said, his voice trembling slightly. Mara turned, her face lighting up with recognition. "Hi," she replied warmly. They stood there for a moment, the world around them fading into the background. "Would you like to join me for a coffee?" Eli asked, his heart pounding. Mara's smile widened. "I'd love to," she said. And just like that, they took the first step towards something new, something beautiful. As they walked into the cafe, Eli felt a sense of hope and excitement he hadn't felt in years. The future, once a series of predictable steps, was now an open road filled with possibilities. And it all started with a simple hello. Remember to like and subscribe for more content like this. They started talking, slowly at first, stolen glances on the platform, brief exchanges about the weather, then longer conversations that stretched on as the city lights flickered past the train windows. He learned her name was Mara. She was a musician, a cellist, her days filled with melodies and harmonies. He told her about his job, his quiet life, his predictable routine. He looked forward to their morning encounters. The train, once a symbol of his monotonous existence, was now a conduit to something extraordinary. Mara was sunshine on a cloudy day, a splash of color in his grayscale world. They shared stories, dreams, fears. He found himself opening up to her, revealing parts of himself he'd kept hidden for so long. They started meeting for coffee before work, lingering in cozy cafes as the city slowly awakened around them. He'd watch her, mesmerized as she spoke, her hands moving expressively, her eyes sparkling with life. He found joy in the simplest things, their shared laughter over a silly joke, the way she brushed her hair behind her ear, the warmth of her hand in his. He was falling in love. One morning, Mara wasn't on the train. He waited, his heart sinking with each passing minute. She wasn't at their usual coffee shop either. Days turned into a week, each one filled with a growing sense of dread. When she finally reappeared, she was pale and thin, her usual vibrancy dimmed. She dismissed his concerns with a tired smile, but he knew something was wrong. She started missing their morning commutes more often. When she did join him, she was often lost in thought, a shadow of her former self. Her once bright eyes were clouded with pain, her smile strained. He tried to be strong for her, offering words of comfort and encouragement, but fear gnawed at his heart. One particularly difficult evening, as they sat together in his apartment, Mara finally confided in him. The truth, when it came, was spoken softly, almost hesitantly, but it hit Eli with the force of a freight train. Cancer. She'd known for a while, but hadn't wanted to burden him. Eli felt his world crumble around him. He held her close, his own tears mingling with hers. Her decline was swift and merciless. The vibrant, vivacious woman he'd fallen in love with was slowly slipping away, her light dimming with each passing day. Eli was her rock, her constant companion, her source of strength and solace. He spent every free moment by her side, reading to her, talking to her, holding her hand. He told her stories of their time together, reminding her of the joy they'd shared. The train rides, once filled with laughter and shared dreams, became journeys of love and loss. He would help her onto the train, carefully arranging her blankets and pillows. She was too weak to speak much now, but her eyes spoke volumes. They held gratitude, love, and a deep, unspoken sadness. One rainy morning, just like the day they'd met, Mara took her last breath. Eli was holding her hand, his tears falling freely. She was gone. He rode the train alone that day, his heart shattered into a million pieces. The familiar scenery whizzed by, a painful reminder of all they'd shared, all they'd lost. He stepped off the train at platform 4, the emptiness of his life echoing around him. As he walked away, the rain started to fall, washing away the remnants of his tears, but not the memory of her love. Mara might be gone, but the echo of her laughter, the warmth of her smile, the depth of her love, they would stay with him always. Like the fleeting beauty of a rainbow after a storm, their love had left an indelible mark on his soul, a reminder that even in the face of life's greatest sorrows, love, once found, never truly fades away.